Japan is an amazing country. It thrives a lot in tourism, entertainment, automotives, cities, and so much more. But at the cost of all those greatness, Japan is also home to many social problems. Today, I would like to talk about one problem in particular, which is Hikikomori, a Japanese social reclination phenomenon. Ladies and gentlemen, and dear teacher Fonda, my name is Ferrero Sugiharto, and welcome to my TED Talk. So, what is Hikikomori? The term was first used in the year of 1998 by psychiatrist Saito Tamaki. It is used to address a severe social withdrawal phenomenon in Japan, which is characterized by adolescents and young adults who became recluses in their parents' homes. They are unable to go to work or go to school for an extended amount of time and have no real life relations or interactions. To become a hikikomori, you must fulfill the following criteria. The first one is that you must have a home-oriented life. The second one is does not possess any basic interest to experience school or work, have been reclined for a duration of at least 6 months, and so on. This is what a hikikomori looks like. To give you a broader look on how severe this problem is, have a look on the data I collected. So, hikikomori was first recognized as a problem in the year of 1990 and was later named hikikomori in the year of 1998. 2002, there are an estimate about 410 hikikomoris. 2015, 541,000. 2018, 613,000 hikikomoris. And lastly, in the year of 2019, the number popped up high into 1.15 million until 2 million hikikomoris. And the government estimates the number to grow into about 10 million within the next couple of years. Hikikomori exists. So what? Well, hikikomori hasn't been acknowledged by Indonesia yet, but I'm sure the problem is already lingering or has the potential to rise, especially given the pandemics. During these pandemics, we are basically forced to isolate ourselves in our own home, thus isolating ourselves from society. And so we have checklisted most of the hikikomori checklist except for the last part, where most of us still have the basic interest to socialize directly with the real world. Now, what if we start losing that interest? And I think that case is very likely to happen since it's the pandemic. While being a hikikomori itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's most preferable if we just don't be a hikikomori. What causes hikikomori is basically toxic cultures, or in this case, Japan's toxic culture. Ever since the year of 1980, there has been a trend in Japan to gather people with disabilities under one roof, thus creating a social stigma that whoever is different must be isolated. And so, until this modern day, people who are unable to fit will be punished by society, thus creating hikikomoris. The reason why hikikomoris are so dangerous is because hikikomori itself isn't the final product, it's a process towards worse social problems. Hikikomoris have been proven to have links with domestic violence, declining birth rate, suicide cases, and lastly, criminal activities. The Niigata kidnapping and the confinement of a young girl from 1990 to 2000 and the Kawasaki mass murder in May 2019 were both caused by a hikikomori. And that's just so heartbreaking. I've thought about many ways on how we can solve this problem. We can do these things, but still, the solutions that I came up with isn't enough to solve this problem in long term. I mean, at most, it could help slow the progression rate, but it definitely isn't enough to solve this problem at all. So instead, I'm gonna offer a large-scale social reformation, or in other words, a social change. Yeah, and what I'm proposing here is pretty simple. I just want people of Japan to start thinking for themselves and rethink their definition of normal and their outlook on what is acceptable and what is not. This can be easily done with the help of mainstream media and the Japanese government, because like Japan has many big screens on the streets and they're very tech savvy people. Like, I think this is a good idea because once the people of Japan gets to think for themselves, they will start acting on what they believe is right instead of what society is imposing them on what is right. And when people start to think for themselves instead of following long lost and wrong pattern, that's when a good society is born. Thank you.